Hello and welcome everyone in this AI application development using Azure and OpenAI. This part, we will use the previously created Streamlit web application and try to containerize it and make it ready for anywhere in the cloud or on premises. Basically, we're going to build a container-based web application, which can be hosted anywhere, as we all know. So let's dive into that. Before that, I'm going to take you to, let's say, my search box and I say Streamlit Docker. If you do that, now the Streamlit comes with a great documentation. And in the documentation, it shows you how you can create a Docker container step by step. And it also gives you a sample Docker file. So if you copy this Docker file, modify it based on your application, it ideally should work. Okay. So let me bring a Docker file into my code base. So let me minimize it, go back to my this thing. And what I'm gonna do is that first thing I'm gonna do is that v1 commit done. So that's first, all the work is kind of saved. Let me close all of them. Okay. And let me create a Docker file. Now you can copy the Docker file from Streamlit portal and change things from there. Now let me pick a Docker file content, which I have created some time back, and then show you step by step, explain you step by step what all of them means. Okay, so each of the line in the Docker file is a step. Okay, so remember the Docker file is nothing but a build instruction, step by step build instruction. So I have a Docker file content, which I'm gonna not here. Okay, so let me few lines. First of all, I am using Python 3.9 Slim. So this is what Streamlit also recommends. I created a work directory, an app, copied all the content from the current folder to the work directory. And then I did a pip3 install of all the components I need: Python dev environment, Streamlit, LangChain, LangChain OpenAI, and OpenAI with a version number. And we exposed the port number 8501, which is basically the Streamlit port. I don't need the health checks, so let's not use this. So if you just remove it, make it clean. Now I run this command called streamlit run customer.py against the port. It will work. It should work. Okay. So now if I just move ahead and change to which folder it is now, quickly check Python sample. So we're already inside the folder. So you don't need to switch to the folder, but it makes sure that wherever the Docker file is, you switch to the folder, otherwise dot command will not work. So let me increase the screen area so that you see what exactly is going to happen. Now, if you run the Docker PS, it's going to go ahead and show you the list of Docker container, list of already existed Docker container. If I say Docker images, it'll show you all the images which I have downloaded and used it, so on and so forth. So Docker is working fine. Now, if I say Docker build, very simple command, dot, nothing else. What it's essentially going to do is that it's going to go ahead and say that Python sample. So let me see where I created the Docker file. So uh, Docker file is spelling mistake. Okay. Now I go back and run this. It's gonna take the instruction step by step. You can see 1 by 4 is there are 4 lines of instruction. So the first one is going to get work directory created, copied, and then the pip install is going to happen. This is a bit longer thing which needs to run. And after this pip install is run, it's going to go ahead and run the last one, which is streamlit. So it'll basically make an entry. So it's not any action. So that's why you see that if I happen to go back to my Docker file, I still have another line, but it's an entry point. It's just an insert. It's not a build. Expose is also not a build. So only up to this point where things will happen is an action. So just 4 of 4, where the fourth one is the last one is pip install. Rest all are just an entry. Okay, that's why you don't see them all the lines as each line as an action unless they're an action. So unless you are doing something like creating a folder, copying something, installing, it's not going to be considered as an action. So it's a build instruction basically, and then it shows the exporting layers. It's done. So let me clean it up, and I say Docker images. You will see a second image which has no name because I have not given any name. Now, if you run this Docker command a little bit differently, let's say Docker build, instead of that, you say -t, where you basically mention the tag as customer, and then on enter, it's going to go ahead and not run everything because it has a same Docker file which was. So Docker uses pretty efficient caching mechanism. So it understands what changed, what has happened, etc. So you can see that it's coming from the cached one because I did not change it. But if I say Docker images, it's going to go here that change that, rename that to customer with the same image ID as this one. So the image ID remains same. I got a name. Okay, that's all fine. Okay, so let me clear it up. Run this image. Now I want to test it locally before I decide to push it to our registry. Okay, to do that, you can run a Docker run command, but it's not going to run if you simply say Docker run and customer. You need to expose the port because it's a website which is running inside that container using a different port. Okay, so let's run this Docker run, but then you need this little switch called P. Let's use this port 8501 to 8501. So map it to the same port. And then I say customer latest. That's the tag which is using customer latest. Okay. Now if I run this, it's gonna go ahead and then show you a little browser. This is coming from, if it is everything is fine, everything is built properly, this is coming from your container, not from the development box. Okay, so this container is perfectly built. Okay, absolutely happy to see that. Now let me log into my Azure portal and come back here. So give me a second. And once I log into the Azure portal, I'm gonna use some of the information to push it to this. So let me stop this and clean it here. Now you need a Docker login. Now by default, if you use the Docker login, it will, so let me come back here. So let me keep this little pointed, and then I go to access keys. Okay. If you see the Docker login and the user ID is wgacr4, so let's use that command, Docker login -u wgacr4, and then the URL is this one. It's going to ask me for the password. So let me copy the password and copy it and come back and paste it. Login successful. So I essentially copied the password from here, and then I logged into this Docker registry, not Docker Hub. That is Azure Container Registry. Okay. Now, few things. There is right now in this registry, there is no repository. Remember that registry was created by us in previous video. There is no repository, but there is a name to the registry. So for me to be able to push it here, I need to maintain this name. So that's the name of the registry. Okay, login server. And I choose to define this thing. So now if I see, let me clean it, Docker images, it will show you the list of images. And now I need to rename this image to which matches the registry. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So Docker tag, and I just can rename it to customer latest to this one slash customer slash v1. I can do that. If I do that, then I see something else. It's just another entry, same image ID. Size is not double. So Docker doesn't create another copy. So it's just pointer. Okay. So you see that I've got this. Now this is kind of ready to be pushed because it matches and I've logged in to the private registry, which needs me to provide the user ID and password. Even if it is a public registry, you still need user ID password to push an image. To retrieve it from there, you don't need, but to push, you definitely need user ID and password because you are going to use the storage. So I will use the Docker push. Okay. And then pass this v1. And I can see that it's preparing, pushing. So that means it is happening. All this means that's happening. And you will see it's reflected in the portal somewhere in the repository once it is done. One layer. So it's a layered approach. You can see multiple layers are created because I have got multiple action ran on that. So it's kind of created multiple layers. And if I go here, and once it generates the SHA digest, and then if I refresh it here, you see the customer coming. If I click here, you should have a V1. So that's the container image now available to be pulled. So you can see that if I say Docker pull, it will pull that customer image. Very well. So we are done at this point in time by packaging that Streamlit application into a Docker container using a Docker file. Let me show you that. Using this Docker file, running the Docker build command, and then renaming that as per my repo, and then pushing it to the Docker Azure Container Registry. Done. Now, next demo, we'll see how we can use this same thing to create a container apps. Okay. Thank you very much and have a great day.